Welcome to this week's episode of Forever None. Today's topic is the wind. You can't see it, but you can feel it. You can see its effect, the wind. You just know it's there. It's all around you. You can breathe it in. It's inside of you. It is life itself. In ancient times, people didn't know about things like air or the atmosphere. They thought the wind was an invisible being, an intelligent agent with intention. How'd that happen? Farming, of course. Farming? Hold that thought. When I was a boy, we had a swimming pool. We lived in a northern climate, so every winter we had to drain the pool and put a cover over it. Over the course of the winter, snow would accumulate on the cover, and in the spring there would be a little pond of water on top. Every April, a pair of mallard ducks would come and swim on the cover. I would feed them sometimes, hoping that they would get used to me. They would often sun themselves on the side of the pool, and every time I'd walk by, they'd plop themselves back into the pool and swim to the far side. They never trusted me. Their instincts told them to get away. They thought that I was a predator, even though I meant them no harm. And even though they were wrong about me, they knew instinctively that it's better to be safe than sorry. Human beings, it turns out, are a lot like those ducks. We often make better to be safe than sorry mistakes too. But how did we get that way? Imagine that you're an ancient pre-human, millions of years ago, living in the grasslands of Africa. And you're lying in the grass when you see the grass move. You ask yourself, is this a predator or is that just the wind? What should I do? Should I stay or run? If you think it's a predator and you run, you're safe. But if you think it's just the wind and you stay, you could be a meal. So, our ancestors learned that when the grass moves, they run. And that's why we're here today. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. Even though that sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes it's a predator, and sometimes it's just the wind. But when did the wind become a god? When we needed to control it. Millions of years ago, bad weather only meant that you needed to find shelter. When the wind brought bad weather, any cave would do. Fast forward to about 12,000 years ago. Humans are just starting to domesticate animals and farm crops. We don't need to go into the grass and hunt. We've begun to settle in the Fertile Crescent in the Middle East. We've gone from hunter-gatherers to farmers. Predators are now much less a problem. Now it's the wind itself. It's destroying the things they build. They start to notice the direction of the winds. The south winds destroy their crops. The north winds bring the frost. But why? Why do the winds destroy our crops? Why do the winds destroy our animals? Why are they angry? What can we do? How can we control the wind? What does it want? Well, someone steps forward and claims that he knows what the wind is and how to control it. It's a god, and it clearly wants what we build and grow. He asks the people, what does the wind take? Our buildings, our animals, our crops. Okay, we'll build a building for the wind. We'll give the wind the best of our animals. The perfect ones. And we'll give the wind our crops, our freshest crops. Now, I know it's a sacrifice, but it will satisfy the wind, and the wind won't destroy everything. And they built buildings for the sacrifices, and they sacrificed their animals, and they sacrificed their crops. And they write a legend about the sons of the first people and their sacrifices. And they continue to sacrifice to the wind god. And it worked. And sometimes it didn't. And the man insisted that he was right about the wind, that it was the people who must be doing something wrong. And the people kept making their sacrifices. Because, after all, it's better to be safe than sorry. This is Forever None signing out. And remember, our instincts are often wrong. We've evolved to survive, not to be right. And if you're struggling to survive, being right is the last thing you're trying to be. And the religious are struggling to survive with the wind.